Yes, we've been having trouble nailing the front, so we are live.
We are live. Very good. Very good.
Early in the morning, Travis Flood, Daniel Shaughnessy, happy to be in the Rubble because we live in a community and this building is coming out of the rubble.
Yeah. Nice.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is. It is. It is.
There's so many opportunities in our community. And from our last show, let's just get right into it. We had some people ask us a couple of questions, and I want to ask you, Trav.
Yeah.
Travis.
That's
Sorry.
fine.
You know,
People call me Trav.
we're already on nickname basis.
That works. That works.
Love your block.
Yeah.
This movement that's happening in Shawnee, it's been spearheaded by the young Shakaya Morris.
Yep.
Very bright fellow, Shakaya. I think she's a fellow of Johns Hopkins University.
Right.
Beautiful woman. And she has really spearheaded an initiative called Love Your Block. The question came that in 2008, there was a study done, and the city paid a lot of money for this study, as I understand. I have not researched that.
Yep.
About Dunbar Heights, and how does actually Love Your Block fit into the plan that was initiated and paid for way back in 2008? Or tell us why Love Your Block is such a great thing.
So a couple of amazing things, and we really didn't find this out until after we started diving into the Love Your Block program and started kind of looking back through some of the efforts that have been began in the past, and part of that 2007-2008 study was this very intentional look at how to bring some life and some kind of like a shot in the arm into a part of our neighborhood that was really at one time was a thriving part of Shawnee, and then throughout the years different things had happened, and families came and gone, and the world changed, and it just kind of had gotten forgotten, and it just had sat there for a long time, and some of these very intentional, very thought out plan to kind of, like I said, revitalize, to reinvigorate, to kind of rebuild this part of the world, and nothing really happened after the plan. Yeah.
And so I want to interject right there.
Yeah.
Is that it's not that this place was forgotten. I mean, honestly, a lot of many things were taken from that community.
Right.
They had a beautiful rec center in which it was dated, but that their kids would go to, and then it kind of got enveloped. They have a lot of history and a lot of residents down there in Dunbar Heights that have a lot of history and nostalgia on the inside of them about our community.
Right.
It's actually a very, very special place.
Absolutely.
And even to drive there on the road, and I don't know that it's Dunbar, but just off of Farrell, and then to envision Dunbar High School there, back in segregation days, really, when that was a place that people went to and they had to go to. They couldn't go to the other high school. There's a lot of intricacies within our community that, I think that we all should just talk about and realize there's a lot of history in the Dunbar Heights community, a lot of potential right there along the river, a lot of community residents that live down there. So I was actually very encouraged when I got that story, Travis, or I got that question about, okay, tell us how this is beginning something fresh, new, and helpful for the residents within that district called Dunbar Heights.
Right, and so after, and just kind of to keep going with that, after that study was done, and the plan is really really impressive. But talking to the mayor at the time, and he was just really honest about it. He said, you know, we had this great idea. He said, but we didn't have the funding to really put those efforts into action. And that's where this amazing amazing grant that we got through the Love Your Block program. It is just that. It's not a lot of extra money, but what it did was it gave us an opportunity to put Shikaya into motion, and all that really meant was say, this is yours, take off. And she's doing amazing at that, and really starting to build some of those bridges between the city and between that neighborhood and some of those residents, and she just gone gangbusters and just doing amazing things. But the big thing that I think that what is going to be the biggest and the most... Sorry, is this bothering you? Sorry, man.
Just bothering.
Yeah. What's going to be
It got you the gunshot.
Did it? Nice. What it really did was it gave a lot of different organizations, a lot of different efforts have been kind of put towards making parts of Shawnee better. But what it did was it allowed her to come in and organize those efforts and begin to really start working through a plan.
And that's specifically for Dunbar Heights?
Not necessarily.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yes.
I was under the impression that Shikaya really got this Love Your Block effort started from the root of finding out about the grant, moving towards the grant, and then she brought it to the city, and then she eventually was hired on by the city. Is that accurate, or was Shikaya part of the city, not an individual citizen, when this all started to occur? Was she already a city employee?
No, she was not a city employee. What she had been doing some contract work for us, and had been doing a few things with Ed, and had been in part of some meetings where she was kind of helping facilitate some meetings about some other projects. And this one came to us through our amazing grant writer that we have through the Avitas Foundation.
Sarah?
Yes, and her and Ed.
We always say grant writer, and we never tell anybody that it's Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah's like one of the coolest.
Sarah Dame, she's an amazing individual. And
she's a true grant writer, so she kind of stays in her office, and you'll never know she exists, unless we do stuff like this.
Right. And that's another one of those so graciously provided by the Avitas Foundation, and she writes grants for everybody, not just,
is this, see, I noticed that Shikaya was a graduate of Johns Hopkins University, and this grant actually had something to do with a program from Johns Hopkins University, along with Bloomberg out of New York City. And so I thought that Shikaya actually, this was my point, was that this was actually just a citizen who wanted to do good, and she did her research, had an idea, approached you guys, the mayor, approached government, and was like, her ideas were heard, and because she had follow through, there's some wonderful things that are happening.
No, she's an amazing human being, and anybody that spends 10 minutes with her knows that she's got a heart for not only improving the city, but for improving the roles of women that are looking to make their mark in this world. Yeah.
Shakaya Morris,
yeah.
The Powers of Her,
Yes.
if you want to look into that
Yes.
a little bit. And we need to roll on. Love your block question.
Yeah.
Love the question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And your commissioners are available to answer any more questions you have about that.
Yeah.
Check out Love Your Block on Facebook. A lot of volunteers, local volunteers, doing good work. They just finished their first project. Onward to the next question, because this is a big one.
Yeah.
It's big dollars. We're talking about $7 million plus dollars that we're about to talk about, and I'm going to throw it at the commissioners, the volunteer commissioners
Yeah.
lap. Travis, we have $3.6 million invested and going as we have broke ground over at the old skate park location that many
Right.
people know along Center Street. And now we just went into motion with another $3.5 million to be spent right here at Woodland Memorial Park. What's up? Why are we throwing money like that at parks when our roads rank a number 5 out of 100?
Right.
Or something like that, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So it's part of that. It's part of that commitment to our overall quality of life, and realizing that although those parks at one time, the old skate park or the
Kid space.
Kid space, that at one time was one of the most amazing parks
Yes.
around, and a lot of people came together. A lot of individuals, donated their times and efforts, and then the city put in quite a bit of money to help make that come to be. And it had run its course, and it was no longer a safe place for kids to play. It was it gotten to the point to where the constant repairs and constant things they were losing more elements than they could put back because of all the it had aged out, and it was just one of those unfortunate things that happens. And knowing that having fun, safe things for families to do are in our communities, in our neighborhoods, are the things that bring families and keep families here, and offer them options to for safe, fun outside play.
Free.
Yeah, free, exactly. And yes, it is expensive, and goodness, it doesn't take long to do anything in today's market, and understand how expensive it is and how long it takes, and so yes, when you look at that, you say that's a bunch of money, but in reality that would not go very far on rebuilding streets or repairing roads. Yes, it would do a lot of good towards that, but then we would still have the need for that park to have been rebuilt, and for the one at Woodland to be expanded, and we believe that those changes and those expansions are going to draw more people to the downtown area, especially the Woodland one, and then also for the one off of Center Street, gonna have more options for families, and as homes are being built and places are being renovated and things are like that, it's just that quality of life thing that we talk about that is very necessary for a city to grow.
Families need parks. We
Yes.
need free spaces for young families to
Yeah.
go. It's where memories are created,
Yeah.
and it's one of the aspects of our children wanting to remain here because they have great
Right.
memories of doing things with mom and dad. And I mean, let's face it, community, we've got a 50% plus divorce rate. We need things for families to be able to do, get out, be together, learn how to love one another, and go through life together. There's a lot of positives that are being spent, not to mention it's required. We voted for it just a few years ago, and parks and recreation were on the ballot, and there is a certain amount of money that has to be spent for quality of life issues. And it was something that we voted for, and we voted to be in. Rolling on, Travis, I'm excited to see what $3.6 million buys us nowadays. Honestly, I'm a bit skeptical. That number looks a little bit high. But there's a few reasons why our city commission has to do what our city commission does. And in the parks realm, the Kids Space Park was the #1 visited park in our community. It will still be the #1 visited park in our community. Woodland was second. Woodland Veterans Park was second. It is right in the heart of downtown. It will pay dividends to redo Woodland Veterans Park for the entire heart of our community. That's something that I'm excited about, but we challenged each other to bring two things that we're excited about. And I'll start it off with, I'm excited about all the digging that's going on along the sides of the roads because our water system needs help, and it looks like we're getting some real infrastructure help right now. Over the last 8 to 10 months, I have seen a lot of digging going on along streets, which means our infrastructure is getting changed under the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of utilities being updated, and I know a lot of things along Kickapoo. We're moving gas lines and different things, but that's something that one of the I guess you could say benefits. It's not really a benefit. COVID was a terrible, awful thing, but because of there were a lot of grant dollars that rolled out because of that, and some of those grant dollars come in the form of utilities dollars that have been being hopefully communities all over the state are taking advantage of, and we're working on doing that. And then with the road expansions, one of the things that is necessary for you when you move a road is to reroute and move utilities, and when you move them you get to put them back new, and that's also a good thing. And so
just for some clarity, some of the neighborhood digging that I see coming like along Wallace and some of those streets off of Wallace, for example, does any of that have to do with water?
Most of that is gas. And there are some places where water is being redone and rebuilt, but most of the things that we're seeing around here are gas and other utilities being moved.
Coming down Independence, for example, when they were digging that out prior to putting the sidewalk in, was that gas or water?
I believe that was water. They were moving that over, So, and like I said, the part of that was having to move it because the lines can't be underneath the street.
Which is a good example of what you're talking about, is when we expand, we get to fix and repair and make good for another 50 to 80 years.
Right, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's your first? You're excited.
Oh man. So the last week we had a meeting with some of our downtown residents and downtown merchants, and we had a really tough conversation about the state of downtown, about some of the struggles with some of our homeless friends, some of the struggles with the community members or
before
property.
We just stop at homeless, we want to say homeless, vagrants, addicts, and some that are mentally have a hard time. I mean, developmental difficulties. We don't want to lump all of those together because they're different, even though we sometimes interpret it. And when we talk about homeless in our community, we need to realize there's a lot of different groups that you need to mention. And when you say homeless, don't lump in the vagrants that are downtown trying to destroy things. Don't lump in those who are having real mental developmental difficulties, and then also there's a lot of addicts down there, and I know that's a chunky soup, but there are when we say homeless, we want to know there are different aspects to that apple.
Absolutely. And during that conversation, a lot of individuals were, the room was full. We were down at the library, and a lot of individuals had an opportunity to share their hearts, and were truthful and honest about how they feel. But I was really, really pleasantly, like, I was really happy and surprised to see that everybody, even though it was a very kind of hot topic, they were very cordial and very respectful, and our city did an amazing job of being able to talk about something hard, but still having a caring and a hope for, this isn't just going to be an opportunity for me to lose my mind and yell at people, and this is going to be an opportunity for me to say something that's heavy on my heart, but the next thing I'm going to do is ask, how do we make this better? You know, and everybody did. They got the stuff off their chest and said, this is hard, or this is tough, and I don't like doing this. What do we do? You know, and so the city had the city. When I say the city, both the city, the individuals, but also the city employees and our amazing city manager and her staff walked through those future plans and took down notes, and we left with a plan and to say, we've got some things in motion, and we've taken down your suggestions, and we're going to add those to the kind of like the big old chunky soup, as we said, you know, and give us a few months, and let's do this again, and let's see where we're at. And it was, I mean, that's all you can ask for there,
Erica
right?
Genty in town for less than 6 months. She's really smart. And we've already seen, for example, 5 to 7 different restrooms and even a shower set up for people. There's laundry service that's available for people to try to help improve lifestyle downtown. I talked to half a dozen people that attended that meeting. All of them echoed what our volunteer commissioner just said. So very positive. Okay, I went first, you went second, so you get number 3, then I get number 4. Okay. What's your second one?
Fantastic. So I am really, really excited about the amphitheater coming downtown. And that's part of the conversations that we had.
It's his dancing skills.
Oh my gosh, it's my dancing. It's my dancing skills, which is usually me shaking my shoulders. You know, when I go out with my friends dancing, I'm the guy that's holding the purse and the shoes. Usually, I'm not. You know, that's not my dancing's not my thing. But the thought of having live music, the thought of we have such a fantastic theater and arts opportunities, you know, to take place, and just thinking of all the amazing talent and the amazing things that we do, you know, like there's somebody at the Ritz almost every weekend.
Like the car show this weekend.
Yeah, the car show. There's something
Main Street, lining the whole Main Street,
right across the
out
road.
of the Rubble. Out of that Rubble, out of the Rubble right there. And vendors in the Rubble. I understand now. The building, the Rubble will be utilized. This Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon.
No, not to be
shameless plug.
Not to be, you know, confused with stubble. You know, we are.
That's correct.
We are. You know, we're in the Rubble.
We are stumbling. But
But the opportunity for different things, whether it be, you know, musical artists or to be some type of you know, theater or.
So one thing about the Woodland thing in this amphitheater, I mean, it's going to cost $3.5 million. The Avitas Foundation just picked up 900,000 of that. So the city still has 2.6 million in it. Are we going to be expanding? I remember that Woodland was going to expand a little bit or go outside of the current borders. Is that at all included in this plan, or is it not?
It is not in this current one. The one that we have right now will be to revamp and rebuild the existing property, and yes, the long range plan, the man, it'd be cool if we could, you know, plan that we part of that, what we voted on a while back was the expansion, and if a part of it would go, you know, east towards
sure. It was pretty big.
Depot.
It was a big, broad vision.
Yeah.
Will the tennis courts be getting any facelift? Or
yes. So
what's going on with that?
The tennis courts will get a facelift. I think they're going to be adding some pickleball courts. I think they're going to be adding a basketball court and some other things. And so
not all in that one tennis court area. We're not going to lose tennis courts, are we?
No. I don't believe we're losing.
This used to be
courts.
A tennis community.
Yeah, right. Well, so the thing with the pickleball, it's becoming quite the
rage.
The hot topic right now is pickleball, and I know that they play at the senior center a lot, and then we just had a pickleball tournament for part of the Juneteenth celebration, you know, and it's becoming more and more.
I want to see you pickleballing against my daughter Fiona.
Oh my gosh,
we'll put that on camera.
She would beat the socks off me.
Of course she would.
Yeah,
but it would be fun to watch.
So yeah, she's something else.
Okay, so you're excited about what's happening down there.
Yeah,
I understand that.
Absolutely.
Amphitheater. Okay, rock on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited with our election season.
Yeah.
We had some very quality candidates step into the ring and bring up tough issues that everybody had to talk about. And I'm very proud with how the elections were handled on both sides, because there's always going to be, you know, there should be more than two sides, but usually there's only two sides that are going on. And I thought that it was very healthy the way that we came through our election season, and nothing broken. Things though that bring up that say, okay, we got to fix this, we got to do this, we're working on this, this is how this is working, this is the vision we have. So we really in that process got to learn a lot about the future plans of our city, or the future visions. We shouldn't say plans, because sometimes visions don't become plans, but what is being said, and then also the push behind the those visions, saying, hey, but this has got to be right, and this has got to be right, and this has got to be right. So I think a lot of great information shared in our election season, and now we get to move beyond, and I always like after the election much better than the election season, simply because now we know, okay, this is what we got, and we're moving on and making it work. And so I'm really excited. I was very happy with our election season. I do not like, and I know some of my close friends, we just don't like when seats are unopposed. It just doesn't work really well. Right. And we have a community who's vibrant, and we still have one election for Ward 6 that's in a runoff. We have Alan Rogers and Lauren Richter. Get out and vote. That's going to be in August. You're going to want to get out and vote, even if that's the only thing on the ballot. You need to let your voice be heard. Two quality candidates and good people. Yeah. I know both of them.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Travis Flood, thanks, man, for getting out.
No, appreciate it. I am thankful for this, and I love this opportunity in this format to be able to kind of share and talk through some of the things, and
you can talk right to that camera and talk to them.
And I really hope that as we continue this, and this is something we're going to plan on doing for a while, is just to share things that we hope can shed a little light on some of the things that we're doing, and then share our hope and our dreams for, you know, what the city can do, and then the relationships and neat things that are going on in the community and with our families. But most of all, man, I enjoy getting to share, you know, the stories of things that you're seeing and the things that I'm seeing, because not just like today, not everything that we hear about and stuff like this are good things, and I love the fact that we're trying to, not that we won't ever have to talk about something difficult or hard, because that's just part of life. And,
I plan on it.
Yeah.
This is going to be good.
Yeah, but to have an opportunity to focus on good things, and to focus on the hope, and you know, if everything we talk about, even if it's really hard or difficult or if it hurts, if we can finish with a hope for a better tomorrow, then that's, man, what more can you ask for?
Well, so often obstacles are simply opportunities, and just like this week, Jim, Michael, Kevin, Bill, and David all bringing up questions for us. Thank you, and that helped give us some synergy to answer. We want your questions, whether they're obstacles or opportunities, what your thoughts are. Right here in the comments, or stop Travis or myself on the street. Ask the questions that we can bring up. We want to answer them for you. Travis Flood, I'm Daniel Shaughnessy. It's Out of the Rubble. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, man.